Hilarious. Uh, the biggest change you've made in the last 20 years?
Not trying to keep up with the Joneses. And we
And
made
who were the Joneses 20 years ago?
the Joneses is everybody, and everybody's trying to keep up with the Joneses. So I'll give you an example. Listen, over 65% of athletes and or lotto winners are bankrupt 3 years after winning the lotto or leaving the league. And whether you're somebody in the neighborhood who's trying to say you got a good car or a good chain, or you're a millionaire saying I only fly private because everybody on Instagram is on jets, you're trying to keep up with the Joneses, right? And when I realized that I don't need, why am I showing anybody anything or taking a picture for anybody that I really don't like, actually? Why am I doing that? And I think not keeping up with the Joneses and not trying to impress people is actually the way I started FUBU. Because when I started FUBU, to be a young, straight male, a heterosexual male, to be a designer, you're perceived as gay. Now, I have no issue with anybody's sexual preference, and I didn't care if people call me gay because I'm confident of the man that I am. But several of my partners that had left they felt bad because most of our friends were drug dealers. And imagine a tough drug dealer saying, hey, Daymond, why don't you sell some drugs? No, I'm going to make these hats. They laughed at me. I didn't care about that, right? And I would look, and later on in life, I'd realize, who else we laughed at? The kid who was studying music theory, the geek who was studying music theory, who ends up becoming Pharrell, will.i.am, Dr. Dre. The geeks also in school, the nerds who became Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Michael Dell, right? The ones who were in the damn wrestling class, all, with the little Speedos on, wrestling, who became UFC fighters. I realized that we all look at the people and everybody else and we put them down, but yet we're trying to compare ourselves to the other people who don't matter. And then as I got into and started to see so many of my friends who are athletes and people who don't have a career or don't have money anymore, I realized, let me get this straight. A private jet to and from Los Angeles, a round trip, is $60,000. You still can't lay on it. There's no bed there. There's usually not even a stewardess on it, right? And if you're sitting across from someone in a private jet, you're playing footsies with them. Now, me and my friend, I can go first class on JetBlue and get a pod, and they'll bring me this nice little minty vodka drink every time I want it. It's only going to cost me another 2 hours in traveling, but that's going to cost me $5,000 against $60,000. I'm going to save $55,000. And it's only going to cost me 2 hours? Who's going to sit here and say, I'll sit for 2 hours to get paid $55,000? Now, equate that looking over 10 years. To operate a jet is $5 million. Over 10 years, that's $60 million. In pre-tax, it's $100 million over 10 years, right? Think about how much more you have to work. And who's getting paid? The fuel company, the jet, and the pilot, right? I don't need to keep up with the Joneses. I'm cool. Catch me on JetBlue in the front pod.